Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Dan here again, and we are back for another episode of Monster Fish Files. And in this one we're going to be talking about the Pangasius catfish. The iridescent shark is a species of shark catfish from the Pangasianodon family. It's native to the rivers in Southeast Asia and can be found in Mekong Basin, and in Mekong it is heavily cultivated for the food, and the meat is often marketed under the common name swai. It is also now being found in many other rivers for its food source, but is making a shrinking appearance. But it's also making an upcoming appearance in the popular fish keeping hobbyists, as it looks pretty much like a shark, but it's a catfish, so it's a really good touch to the aquarium. The fish is named for the glow or iridescence inhabited in juveniles, as well as the shark-like appearance and this of other shark catfish. Now moving on to the type of water these guys like. They're in tropical waters with 6.5 to 7.5 pH and water hardness of 2.0 to 29.0 DGH and a temperature range of around 22 to 26 degrees. They prefer really large bodies of water similar to the waters that they come from. So you're going to need a pretty big tank to keep these guys. They do get rather large. In aquariums they can stay small, around 1.5 feet, or they can grow massive, like 3 foot we're talking. So yeah, you want to watch out if you're going to keep these guys. What I do is I tend to keep them as juveniles, grow them out, and then sell on the bigger guys to people with bigger aquariums, so that way I can enjoy having the fish, but I'm not going to harm the fish by keeping it in a tank that's too small. So a reasonable tank size for these guys is going to be 12 meters or 39 feet to naturally develop. You're going to need schools of these guys so they can develop naturally, because they do tend to do well better in schools. I only keep them in 2s, but they seem to do fine, just a bit more skitterish. And you've got to like watch their tank mates. If you only got 2 of them, they can reach 3.3 feet, as I said before. And in most homes and aquariums lack the space to even home these guys, which does stunt their growth and can lead to deformities. So unfortunately, if you do decide to keep these in a tank that's too small, they can get to 15 to 30 centimeters and then die prematurely, because you're not keeping them in big enough aquariums. You don't think they're getting harmed in these small aquariums. Even we're talking like 500 gallons here. That's not big enough, and they're gonna die in that tank prematurely if you don't upgrade your tank. You shouldn't really be keeping these guys if you don't know like an aquarium, like an actual, go visit aquarium with huge tanks and the actual right space. Unless you have the space to keep these guys, just don't keep them, because nobody really has a 12-meter long wall to put a 39-foot tank, you know what I mean? And that's just the length. Width wise, this tank's gonna have to be 12 feet, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be deep as well. You need to have it deep. You can't have how tanks sometimes they don't like it that deep. These are catfish, they need it deep, so we're gonna be talking like 8 feet deep. Most people's roofs aren't even that high, so you really do have to consider what you're doing with these guys before you buy them. For the topic of breeding, I'm just going to keep it short, because down to the point is you can't breed them in captivity. You have to have them in a pond like this. And the way they breed is you get the male, you get the female. Not quite sure which one's which, but you have a massive school of them, and then 2 of them will separate off. Not like separate off, but they'll stick together among the groups. It's really hard to tell, but the way you do it is you just put them in a huge pond and you let them do their thing. What they do is they chase each other around, fertilize the eggs. I'm pretty sure, I'm just taking a guess here from what I may or may not know about catfish, and what I will guess is they fertilize the eggs as they chase each other around, and eggs basically go everywhere, or they house, lay the eggs, do it that way. Well, I'm not quite sure, as I said. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Monster Fish Files. I know there wasn't a lot to talk about, but this is a pretty rare fish to keep in the aquarium. So if you are planning on keeping these guys, you know, do make sure you have a big enough tank. There's not many interesting facts I could find, except from, you know, where they come from. It was pretty interesting. They do look like an Asian fish. I don't know, that's weird, but they just look like an Asian fish. I don't know. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Stay tuned for more episodes of Monster Fish Files. Be sure to leave me a fish in the comment what you want me to do next, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Peace.